Hey everyone, it's Sula here from MistyHilltops.com, and today I want to show you this mini album that I made. It's kind of based on the idea of a traveler's notebook, but it is slightly larger because the pictures that I used were so big that I prefer to have the size of a book. So this is actually 8 1/4, which is a traveler's notebook, by 5 inches rather than 4 1/4. So it's 8 1/4 by 5 inches. Large, so that I can have 3 by 4 photos easily in there. And it's about a summer day, just one day I made an album. So this is the first page, and a lot of these the pages are made, most of the pages are made with stamps and with die cuts. And also I used a paper pack by Craft Sensations, which is only available temporarily, so it doesn't matter what the name is because it's not going to be available by the time that you see this video. So anyway, I'm using 2 kits by Craft Sensations. I changed somewhere in the book because of the story changes. So anyway, so it's usually stamps that I I can color even the stamps here, or I color with pencil, and then die cuts. So here, this is another die cut, and then a die cut alpha that I have, and then some stamps again. These are flowers that are also from die cuts, and then all of these are from die cuts, and put some matte here, use some more die cuts. These are just stamped, and then I just fussy cut them out. Here I used a circular design, and then for this one I used a Christmas die cut set with these pine cones. It's in the forest. We're spending that day in the forest, or part of that day in the forest. So I also have these little photo corners that I added. They might not be easily visible, but they're there. And then this is the background, as a die cut as well, that I made to be a photo mat. And then these are layered stamps where you layer in different colors. And then I just love the papers from this, and so I was looking forward to making this page. This is actually a stamp that I fussy cut. This I just printed with my computer, and then just used my silhouette to cut that out. However, a lot of, I made a whole sheet of just some travel word art that I then die cut with. I have various die cut, label die cuts and all that, so I just used those label die cuts to cut out all these phrases. So a lot of the phrases that you see are actually die cut. They're printed on just with a lot of space around it, so that I can put the die cuts on there and do that easily. This is from a while ago. I made some. It's also a print, and then I ran it through my silhouette. So this counts, I guess, as a print and cut. Here, more stamping, and then again, this is the same thing. I just printed and then used one of my die cuts to run this around. The same thing here. And I try to use different shapes of die cuts to do this. For this background, I have hexagon die cuts, and then I just used all these different papers that come with a paper pack, and that works out well. Then here again is a layered stamp. So it comes with, you can have different parts of the flower, and then you can use different colors of ink to get this, and the leaves go with this as well. And this is again one of the printed things that I then use my die cuts on. These are just watercolored, and then I use my die cuts on the watercolor paper. I think that always gives a beautiful effect on any element that I want to die cut. And then this is also a die cut, and then the rest. This actually I printed on vellum paper and then ran it through my silhouette. That works really, really well. This is just printed and die cut again. So there's a mixture of all of these. Here This flower is actually a stamp and a die cut set, and so I colored it with colored pencil, and then this is just another individual stamp, and then I just put it on green cardstock. This is again one of the die cuts that I used on one of my prints, and then these hearts should be this way. So here again is a mixture of, usually all these shapes are actually die cut. This is one of my stamps, I just cut it out. These are from some of the date roller stamps. So some they have little phrases. At this point the year is off. I think it goes until 2018 or 2019 or something. But I can still use those phrases, and they make actually wonderful little, just perfectly sized little word strips as well. So I've been using those, as you see, in different places, and they work perfectly for a traveler's notebook size. Again, this is slightly bigger because I knew I had 3x4 photos, and if I put a 3x4 photo in a traveler's notebook, then there would be no space, not much space to decorate things and make things look pretty, and I wanted it to look pretty. So here I switched to a different paper pack because we leave the forest. Here we leave the forest. Oh, here I didn't say. These are hearts that I actually have a die cut, but it's easy with punches even. You just fold a small piece of paper in half, and then make sure you don't punch the whole of the heart, but leave some of it. And then you can use it as a little banner bunting thing there. So again, back here, these are stamps. They really look like somebody just drew with a pencil, with a colored pencil. And so they have a beautiful effect, and I just love using them on my pages. And here, this is a die cut alpha that I used for this one. And then here's another page. This is just a stamp that I then fussy cut. I just used one of my die cuts that is a very tiny little rectangle, and then I just use it to stamp some letters on there. These are some stamps again that have fillings as well as the outline. And then this is another very pretty border die cut. And then this also has a photo corner that looks like a heart actually. And so here's the next page, kind of goes together. And then also more die cuts. This is from a ephemera pack that I got here. It's just black, like I think it's called on chalk or something. So it's only black and then with white. So these are some few elements. This is a stamp that I have, and I just fussy cut that. And then this is also stamped and fussy cut, and then I used one of my labels and then put that phrase in there. And here's again one of the roller date stamps, the phrases from that. Then here is the next page where I used also, these are stamp and die cut sets. And then this is a beautiful alpha die cut that has a little wooden texture to it. So that gives that. And then here's another one of the roller stamp dates, the phrases from that that I just don't ink the dates, or the numbers, I just ink that phrase part. And then here is another, this is actually a sticker I made for my planner, but a long time ago, but then I thought it would work with a color theme here. And then I just die cut this. This is from one of my die cuts, and this is again one of the layered stamps that have different layers with different colors. And then you can die cut them. It's also a stamp and die cut set. And then this alpha is a die cut set, but again I just watercolored on paper and then ran the dyes through that. And then this is a set of these flowers that are actually also just stamps, and I think they come with a die cut as well. This is just a stamp that I have. This is actually a fun alpha. It's also just comes as that circle alpha die cut, and then I use one of my other circle die cuts to then have a mat to mat it, because I think it would have not been as visible if I only used this one layer. So it turned out really pretty that way, I think. And then these are all die cuts, and then again some of the roller date stamp phrases. This is actually a Scripty Alpha, a stamp alpha, so it's individual letters, but they look so pretty when you put it together and stamp it that way. So just love it. And then fussy cut, obviously. Here is another page. This is a stamp set that where I actually colored the stem in green and then colored this in pink ink to make that look like it was a colored something there. And then this alpha, again, I used watercolor and then like die cut it that way. And this washi tape that I was able to get locally. And then some more stamps, mostly stamps here. This is another tiny die cut set with on some watercolored paper die cuts here, stamped background. And then this is the last page, and this must be, I think this is from Spellbinders, a die cut set that I thought is very pretty. And then for this, I just used one of my tiny circle die cuts to cut a number of these circles, and then I used one of my stamp sets to stamp this. And this is also from a stamp set that comes with an outline and with just do you call it the filling? I don't know. It's just a stamp, but it comes with an outlined version as well. So this is my one day of summer little mini album that I made. I chose to do the ring binding because I know that I want to use some sturdy paper so that there's no bleeding through and everything. So because of that, I decide to use the rings rather than having that with that rubber band holding it, which I think is beautiful, but it doesn't work as well for me. So this is that album, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, consider giving this a thumbs up, consider subscribing, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.